Hello guys and gals, Buffalo here. I had a patron suggest a video for me to do back in March, I believe it was, and I'm just now getting around to doing it, so I'm going to get that done today. And what he asked me to do was test and see if rifled slugs that are designed for use in smooth bores would benefit accuracy wise from being shot through a rifled choke tube. So that's what I'm out here doing today. I've got some Federal Power Shock. These are 2 3/4 inch 1 ounce slugs rated at 1610 feet a second from the muzzle. Here's what that looks like. They do call this a hollow point. You can see that in the slug there. The shotgun I'm using is my Beretta Extrema 2 AL391. My favorite shotgun. I love this shotgun, but it doesn't typically do well with shotgun slugs. I've tested slugs through it before, and it is not the best candidate as a slug gun. The bore is slightly oversized on this shotgun. Nominally, it runs 734 thousandths of an inch, which is about 5 thousandths of an inch larger diameter than a typical 12 gauge barrel. It's also got a 3.5 inch chamber. So that's a big jump for that 2 3/4 inch round to fire. That slug's got to jump a long way before it comes in contact with the forcing cone. So not the most accurate slug gun, candidate for a slug gun. So why would I pick this shotgun? Well, it's the only one that I had in the safe that I could easily mount a scope to, and I wanted to use a scope if I'm going to be shooting groups and testing to see if the rifle choke does better than a smooth bore. I wanted to shoot from a scope where I'd have some magnification, and it accepts choke tubes. So I had to meet those two qualifications. I had to be able to put a scope on it, and I had to accept choke tubes, and this was the only one in my safe that met that criteria. So that's what we're going to use today. Actually, I've already done the shooting. We're going to go over that with you, what happened. The smooth bore groups were shot through an improved cylinder choke tube at 50 yards. I used the laser rangefinder to set up the 50-yard line. So these are dead on 50 yards. No cheating on the yardage here. And this was my group with an improved cylinder smooth bore choke tube installed that measures 3 1/4 inches from the middle to the middle of the farthest two apart. That's about average for what I get out of that gun. That's you guys have seen me shoot it in other videos. I had a video where I tested like 3 or 4 different choke tubes, smooth bore choke tubes in that shotgun, and I was shooting a little longer range that day, but that's about, what I would have been getting at 50 yards had I been shooting at 50 yards. So pretty much on par with what I always get from that shotgun. I'll roll that group in right now. I have sped it up so you don't have to sit through the entire process here. So here's that group. So that's going to be my baseline group. That's what I'm getting through the smooth bore improved cylinder choke. And through my testing before, the improved cylinder does about the best with the rifled slugs in this shotgun. So what I've got here is a Carlson rifled choke tube. This thing, it actually comes with a choke tube wrench right in the packaging with it. that's what this looks like. Rifled choke tube. Probably can't see the rifling very good. See if I can brighten this up just a touch. How's that? See the rifling in there? It's got a 1 in 35 inch twist rate. Of course, you've only got rifling the length of the choke tube here, but it's in the important spot right as the slug exits the muzzle. It puts that spin on it. And I cut one of these slugs apart just because I was curious. The rifling on the slug turns the same way as the rifling in the tube. I thought it would be kind of odd if the rifling run left-handed on the slug and right-handed in the tube, but they're both cut the same way, so that's good. And I'll try to link. This one is to fits my Beretta, but they make these to fit quite a few different shotguns. I'll try to link some of them from my Amazon affiliate account in the comment section or in the description of this video for the other shotguns as well. Runs about 50 bucks, a little bit under 50 bucks. But I installed this into the shotgun next, went over to the bench, and this is the group that I shot out of the rifled choke tube. So here's a look at that group. I was doing really good. Had 4 right here in about 1.25 inches. And then that last shot flew way low. And I was kind of disappointed with myself because I actually, when I was shooting and looking at my crosshairs, I actually saw the dip when I shot, so I flinched. If you guys want to learn how to flinch properly, shoot 12 gauge slugs. Do a range session from the bench shooting 12 gauge slugs. It'll teach you how to flinch pretty quick. You'll be a master at it in no time. But I actually saw that dip, so I knew that was me. And I was really disappointed that I didn't get this one up here with these and get that really nice group on camera. So I decided to give it a second chance. I actually took the gun home, pulled the barrel off, cleaned it. It doesn't take very many rifled shotgun slugs or Foster style shotgun slugs to lead up the forcing cone in your shotgun. So I wanted to go knock that lead out, come back and give it a second chance and shoot it one more time and see if I could do better. I knew I could do better. So I went home, done that, and also noticed that even though I only shot 5 rounds through that rifled choke tube, that it was leaded up pretty bad. Rifled slugs are pretty nasty. They lead things up pretty bad. So I cleaned it up back to factory condition. Cleaned my barrel spotless, got all that lead out. Came back down here and shot one more group. And I'm going to play this one for you in real time. Because I'm going to tell you, this is the best shotgun slug group that I've ever shot. So I don't want to speed this one up. I want to savor it, and I want to let you guys savor it. So here goes. I'll roll that in. So check that out. That is impressive to me. That was actually hard to measure. I measured from this side to this side at the longest part of that hole, then subtracted 1 diameter of shotgun slug and came up with 3/4 of an inch group at 50 yards with rifled shotgun slugs. That is impressive. In fact, I'm going to write the information on here of when this happened, what I was using, everything that I can think of to write on there, and I'm going to staple this to my reloading wall. I've got several targets that I'm very proud of that I've hung on that wall, and that's one of them. For a rifled shotgun slug, that is impressive. Now, I do want to address, obviously, I didn't hit the bullseye. That's not what this video was about. I did a video with this same shotgun testing different choke tubes in it, smooth bore choke tubes, and the scope was a little off. I decided not to adjust that scope throughout the video. I wanted to leave it the same, and that's the same thing I did today. I roughed it in, and then I done the video. I don't like to change the scope settings during the video because it changes the point of impact on the target, and it just looks weird. All of these were shot with the scope in the same place. I didn't move it. Obviously, if I were taking that gun hunting or whatever I wanted to do, I would set that scope where I wanted these to hit. That's actually not too bad because slugs drop pretty rapidly, and that would probably get you some longer range by having it set a little high at 50 yards. But anyway, people always question and leave really strange comments. I don't understand a lot of times about why I didn't hit the bullseye. We were focusing on group size today. Now that I know what I'm shooting, I can make my adjustments. If I wanted to hit that bullseye, I can adjust my scope to do that. It's very simple stuff, but some people really struggle with basic things. So this scope I'm using is a Nikon Pro Staff shotgun scope. It's a 2/7 by 32 power. If I can find one to link, I'll link it. I've had this one for a long time. Very good shotgun scope. You don't need a big, huge objective or a very high power scope for shotgun slugs. They're not a long range affair anyway. And this little scope gets it done. Pro Hunter, I believe it's called. Nikon Pro Staff Pro Hunter 2/7 by 32. I'm only mentioning it because people always ask me what I was using in my videos. So the slug itself, if it'll focus there, has rifling on it. Carl Foster designed these. They're called Foster slugs. We call them American slugs or rifled slugs. And that rifling is on there to help it swage down through a choke. These slugs were designed to be shot through a smooth bore with a choke. So that helps them swage down, but it also imparts spin. Tal Fledermoss has got a great video where he shows that those little rifling on the slug does indeed impart spin. The slug is actually stabilized by what they call the shuttlecock effect or the birdie effect. It's nose heavy, hollow base. So that's what stabilizes the slug, but it also gets some spin from the rifling. He proved that with his high-speed camera, and obviously gets a little boost from the rifled choke tube that definitely stabilizes the slug better than without it, at least out of this particular shotgun. Again, you can see that rifling on both of them. Pretty cool. So, my results are this. With this shotgun, world of difference. Go from this to this at 50 yards. Now, your mileage may vary. Not every shotgun is going to get the same boost as mine did, obviously. But that's all all I really wanted to talk about today. So that's all I got, and I'll talk with you guys again soon.